It's Healthy Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown, as always. I never do this alone. I have the ladies. Hello, good morning, YK.
Good morning.
In the building, YK. How you doing?
Good morning, I'm fine, thank you.
This color is different. The combination,
Thank you.
it's different, but it's nice.
I'm going back to my African, I'm trying.
All right, how are you doing though?
To go back to my African roots.
How is it going back to your African roots?
By wearing
You
my
wear
African...
this every time, so they're not going
I
back
know,
to
but you know, we normally leave it till Friday, so I normally leave it. Now I've decided that, no, why should it be only Fridays? I can do it anytime I like. I'm an African person.
I totally agree with you. I think we should even change. We should actually start wearing more trad stuff.
I'm joining YK soon.
Honestly.
Amen, amen.
How are you doing,
Amen.
YK?
Your earrings actually match my outfit.
You could have actually taken it. You could have actually swapped.
Yeah, I can't remember what earrings am I wearing. Okay.
It still works.
Anyways, how are you
Green and
doing? How are you
orange.
doing, YK?
I'm fine, I'm fine.
The weekend?
Gosh,
Anything
I had one
interesting?
gist and I've forgotten the... I have to gist you this gist.
Go ahead.
On Saturday, we were at Kadria's birthday party. And I was drinking my normal champagne. And
Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Morel came up to me and said,
Oh, Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
YK, is this your drink? I said, it's my drink.
Excuse me, YK, listen.
She collected my drink.
YK, I don't drink.
I finished it. I said,
YK.
Murayo,
YK,
I hope you're not driving.
YK.
No, she wasn't
I don't
driving.
drink.
She was with her husband.
I'm an RCCG member. We don't drink.
Egbo, hear me well.
She didn't know what you were
finished
drinking.
my glass.
She didn't know what you were drinking.
Listen, YK, I saw the drink.
In a jiffy,
YK.
like this.
YK, I actually thought it was juice.
Well, you can't believe your life. It's the season to be married. Yeah, we'll be all right.
I'm sure she knew I was going to let it go. I didn't talk too much there. I said,
Okay, YK.
"It's not today. I will say it."
I know actually how you doing.
I'm grateful to God. So today is my 17-day gratefulness challenge, and I'm grateful for a sound mind. And it seems so simple, but if you are living in Lagos and you are not crazy, you are not mad, you should be grateful.
Oh,
so I woke up this
hallelujah.
morning, and the fact that I still have a sound mind, I'm still sane in a place like Lagos.
You know,
Can I just say something there? It is your opinion that you are saying. The mad person does not know that he's mad.
Right.
It is other people that are...
listen,
But
I
I
can't.
started pulling clothes now.
You never start actually.
There's
I
a
can
realization
relate.
now.
I drive to, I have business in Bariga. I have to be at Bariga at least 2 or 3 times during the week. And when I drive through that place, man, I don't understand. I get so scared. Like the hit my car.
They don't care.
You should drive
My area.
to Iyanoba. Trade fair, that Nima side. Once I get to 5-star, I'm like, this is not Lagos. This is not, we don't have sane people on this side of the road. It is actually really crazy. And so we should be grateful for...
Drive like that.
Yeah.
I like your jewelry. I really
Thank
like
you,
it.
Gbenga Artsmith. It was a gift.
It's beautiful.
I did a modeling work and I was given this as a gift. And I actually never buy these things.
Yeah,
and it's made in Nigeria.
Yeah, this
you know,
is-
it does the jewelling and it, like...
This is something I can
putting
wear.
it-
I like
yeah.
this.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very,
thank
very
you.
And how you doing?
Thank you. Kids are good. We're going to watch Frozen 2 tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
They've been begging me since on Friday.
My
You know,
kids-
because they have the cartoon, they watch it on cartoons, and the cartoons are advertising it over and over again
yeah.
that is now in the cinemas. So they're telling me, Mommy, see, it's now in the cinemas.
Watched it, oh.
They haven't watched it, so they want to watch
My husband
the
took
new
my
one.
kids. I think I wasn't. They always leave me out. They've been going to the movies without me because I've been busy.
Oh.
But yeah, so they watched it.
And
Yeah.
it was good.
The kids loved it. He didn't like it. He actually liked the other one, the one that came before.
Maleficent.
Yes, he liked
And
that
Maleficent
one.
is more mature.
Yeah, he liked that, but they didn't really like the person too.
I went to the cinema. I went to watch Funke and
His
Kindele's,
new, Your Excellency.
but it wasn't showing. And I watched Jumanji and I hated it. I hated
Jumanji?
it.
Okay, there's a sequel. Remember
Yeah.
Jumanji back then?
It was just the same.
Other people will like it, but you know me,
Yeah.
I'm...
I like to go and watch
my
Africa
taste.
Akindele's. I hope it's not just hype. I hope it's really good.
I hope
I'd
so
really,
too.
really like to see it.
we'll
I'm
give-
really expectant that Funke
I'll try
Akindele
again. Oh, and I watched the Kalakuta Queens too again.
All right, so we've been told that Your View doesn't show the repeats at night again. So you can watch our repeat on GoTV channel 27, start times 121, play channel 801. And you can stream online, go to www.tvcentertainment.tv. All right, we're going to go on break now. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with The Nation. Senate hate speech bill for Nigerians to decide. Lawmaking allows for all sides of the argument to be heard and the true will of the people established before the bill becomes law. Federal government being guided by laws on Showerese's Malami. Ex-Governor Yari government under probe for 200 billion naira fraud. Nigeria loses $400 billion illicit cash to foreign havens. APC NWC lifts suspension on Akeredolu. Lagos Prince X7 sentenced to death. Oyo Assembly to screen council caretakers today. Let's start with Nigeria loses $400 billion illicit cash to foreign havens. What's that about?
So the Attorney General of Nigeria and the Chief Justice of Nigeria was saying that there are a lot of Nigerian money that is being shipped abroad. Complacent in this are multinational companies in Nigeria. Also complacent in these are banks. And these funds, they are now saying that we have enacted a legal framework and established several dedicated institutions focused on preventing and combating diverse manifestation of corruption. Many of our political leaders move Nigerian money abroad and they are tracing it and trying to see how they could stop it from there. But there are some countries that have become safe haven for this. They didn't mention the countries, but they said that they are looking through all the process to track how it's been done.
Very interesting.
Story?
The major headline, go ahead, please.
Yes, so the Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, has promised Nigerians yesterday that the hate speech bill, they will give an opportunity to everybody to, Nigerians, so to speak.
There'll be a public hearing.
Yes, there will be a public hearing. They will give an opportunity to everyone to make contributions on the hate speech bill, saying that that bill alone has elicited a lot of responses, a lot of attacks since it was being passed. So Nigerians should go back and get ready their points so that whatever it is that they decide will be what the Senate will carry out at the end of the day.
Anybody that is against this hate speech, gather your people together and come for the public hearing so that everybody can hear what you have to say if you're against it, and that it won't be passed unless people approve of it.
You see, I'm happy that I'm giving this kind of attention to this, but I would like other bills equally to have this similar attention, especially the bill concerning gender equity.
Yes,
really
if they should let us
we need to speak up, because if we didn't speak up, this bill would have
we have
been
senators
passed.
who are speaking already, but unfortunately they are overpowered in the Senate. Let's move on to the Punch. December 31st minimum wage negotiation deadline. Oyo, Rivers, Kwara, Gombe, others fail to raise panels. Commissioners list women storm Abiodun's office with stoves and mats. Oshomole's loyalist fumes as Obaseki labels ex-governor pathological liar. Man hires kidnappers, kills brother's 7-year-old boy over 300,000 naira ransom. I can't ask DSS to release Showerese's Malami. APC leads suspension on Akeredolu, Amosu, Okorocha, others. And refineries lost 111 billion naira in 9 months, says NNPC. Let's start with this human interest story. This man that was hired, he hired three...
Yeah, he hired 3 guys.
Kidnappers, yes.
His name is Seidu. And he hired 3 guys to kidnap his brother's son 7 years old. And they killed him. They killed him because... First, let me say why he kidnapped him. He kidnapped him because he has asked his brother to pay for his 3rd marriage. That one refused to give him money to pay for his 3rd marriage. So he now organizes the kidnap. They asked for 5 million, but they released the boy after they said they would release the boy after 300,000. They accepted the 300,000. They didn't release the boy. They killed him. They strangled him. And they found them and they took them to the river, Ogun River, where in Lafenwa, where they had dumped the body. And the police found the body.
I think the boy had recognized.
Yes, that was what I was going to say.
The boy had recognized him, so he knew that.
Which is why they killed him.
That's why they killed him,
right?
And we just really hope that justice is served.
Yoruba says that a kokorotonje, for like things don't come from outside unless it's from inside. This is really, really sad.
Then in Ogun State, the women are complaining that the governor did not did not live up to his promise of ensuring 50% representation of women in his cabinet, because right now, according to them, they only have about 11% representation. And what they're saying that the minimum that is expected was 35%, but he had promised 50%, but now he's only doing 11%.
I'm
so
happy they're protesting. They should continue protesting.
But, you know, these things are always seen as though the thing is those that not get appointed that are
no, but you know when we make campaign, a lot of our politicians make campaign promises that they forget when they get into they don't have intention to fulfill, and they forget when they get into power. So we must hold these people accountable when we see that they're not doing what they promised us to do.
Major story, yes. So, you know, the NLC has given 31st of December as the deadline for all the consequential adjustment negotiations to have been completed, so that at least our workers will have 30,000 naira minimum wage for their Christmas. But now some states have not even started negotiations at all. So they mentioned the states here. We have Ogun State, Gombe, Cross River, Rivers, Plateau, Kwara, Anambra, and Oyo. As a matter of fact, Ogun workers have said that the NLC has said that they've been sending letters to the state government, but about 5 letters. Nobody has said anything, no response, no letter back, no plans to have that committee. So they are giving a 2-day warning strike, which is going to be happening on the 19th and 20th, saying that if nothing is done after that 2-day warning strike, they'll go on indefinite strike in January. Other states are complaining as well. Plateau is there and some other states.
Daily Sun, moving on very quickly. UK probes Nigerian church where members sow seed with blood. Buhari to sign 2020 budget on Tuesday. Picture here of our Governor of Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, with author Miss Mona Chimbonu during the launch of her book, Father's Will in Lagos yesterday. Fantastic. I'm happy that that made front page. Lagos Prince, ex-domestic staff sentenced to death for murder of businesswoman. 15 brigadier generals redeployed in fresh army shakeup. Southeast roadblocks to remain till IGP. So that's till ... IGP. Okay, let's talk about the major headline, then we'll talk about the domestic staff. What's the major headline, YK?
The major headline is the
UK
it's called the SPAC Church, and it's actually over. It's not what is in the story.
Sensational.
It's sensational. That's the word. The charity organization committee is investigating SPAC Church because there have been allegations of misappropriation. They ask people to steal, beg, borrow, or steal to pay for the church to live lavishly.
Where does the blood part come in? I was trying to read the story. I understand where the blood part.
There's no blood part. That's why I say if you have to sell your blood.
Okay,
whatever it is, you need to do. Just do and bring money to church.
And there are allegations that the senior pastor in the church was actually an ex-convict. He's been in jail in UK, Spain, I think Belgium, and other countries. So,
so there's a lot more to this story that probably will come out later.
Actually, about 2-3 weeks ago, my friend sent me a lot of interviews by some people from the churches, complaining and saying, they make you beg, they make you steal, they don't care how you make money.
Just bring the money.
Just bring the money.
For real. So obviously they're probing this, and we'll see where that comes in. The IGP, go ahead.
The IGP of police had a meeting with all commissioners from all 36 states in preparation for the festive season, and in that he spoke about the roadblock issue in the southeast, saying that the reason roadblocks will remain in the southeast is because there needs to be visibility of police officers doing stop and search, that it is not really roadblocks per se, it is just stop and search so as to deter crimes from taking place within that area. So because people were complaining that they wanted the police to get off the main route during the festive season, and they're saying they're not going to pull out yet because people need to see the police on the road and able to trust that their lives will be safe while driving.
All right, moving on to Vanguard. Move on to Vanguard. Why Senate will okay Buhari's $30 billion loan bid, says Lawan. Lagos Prince, domestic staff sentenced to death for murder. Senate won't pass hate speech bill. APC's National Working Committee lifts suspension on Akeredolu and most of Okorocha and others. Let's talk about the Lagos Prince.
Yes. So the son of the former Oba of Lagos, Prince Adewale Oyekan. Sorry. And he's the former domestic servant of Mrs. Alahaja Sikirat Ekun. Did I get that? Ekun. This is serious. So she was murdered. She employed the former prince to work. She's a restaurant, and so employed him as the manager of the restaurant. Right. But then they had an issue. I think she sacked the other guy, the Balogun guy, after a while, and then both of them connived and plotted to kill her. So they strangled her and put her in the well alongside with generator.
They covered her body.
Covered her body, dumped generator on her, and one of the, I think the gas cylinder to make her go down 1,000 feet of the well. Then sent a text message to the family members that she had gone for Salah, she traveled, and all of that. So after 2 months, yes, from her phone. So after 2 months, the family members found out that she was actually killed by those two. The case has been in court since 2011. Yes.
And the judge found that it was premeditated, and that's why he's been sentenced to death.
Life, yeah.
So our Senate president, speaking concerning the past 6 months of what they've been doing in the upper chambers, mentioned that they would approve the loan that the president asked for, $29.96 billion, which was rejected by the 8th Assembly, saying that they've given them more details on what they want to spend the money on. And well, that was what
to ensure that
they would do a critical look.
Each of this, that the loan is tied to specific projects such that it is paid.
So just one thing. No, actually two things. Yeah. One, the Senate president cannot decide what they would approve without the permission of the entire. It hasn't gone through the clearing. They said that they would approve it. So you cannot say we would approve it when the entire, you haven't presented it to the Senate. Everybody hasn't agreed that they would approve it yet. It hasn't passed the hearing. That's one question. I'm just wondering. Number two, part of the things that were listed in this critical breakdown of what they want to spend this money on is our Niger Bridge. And I thought that was paid for completely already. So I have a few questions with this list, and I'm asking my senators representing me to also ask about all of this, because some people are saying that some of the projects have already been paid for, some of them have already been budgeted for. So let's now have this entire, before you approve, let the Senate not be a rubber stamp or whatever the president wants.
They should itemize what they want to do with all of these money.
They've itemized it. They've itemized it. What we're asking is that some of the people there are contrary claims that some of the things in this list we've heard paid for years back is being paid for completely. So we want to be sure.
What damning is the fact that our debt has risen to 24.9 trillion naira.
That is
and obviously WHO and everybody is complaining. IMF is complaining, especially IMF is complaining, saying that we are stretching too thin. We're being stretched too thin.
Last question. What's the terms of this loan? What's the percentage of our interest? How long are we going to pay? What are we going to spend servicing the loan? It shouldn't be just said to be. It shouldn't be just said to the Senate. We Nigerians, because our children will be the one paying for this loan. We should know.
4 questions. That wasn't one.
That is why it's been tied to a project. So, for example, if it's tied to a railway lines, for example, so we know that as you're paying tickets, part of this money is going back to it. So that's why it's insisting that this loan is tied to certain infrastructure development such that it can pay for itself eventually. Okay, we have to wrap up. Let me just quickly take the headlines in Nigerian Tribune. Rule of law would determine Showere's release, says Malami. I honestly didn't understand what
he said they were following the rule of law. That's all.
Nigeria would decide fate of hate speech. We talked about that. Let's find a story we've not mentioned. Army redeploys 20 major generals in shake-up. And very quickly to The Guardian. Government to spend 414 billion naira on subsidy in 2020. I'm surprised Tokwe didn't take that story. Okay. And resign now, Edo APC tells Oshomole. Unfortunately, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we return, we'll discuss a few hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So a new report says that only 42,000 doctors out of 75,000 registered by Nigerian Medical Association are available for Nigeria's over 200 million people. As the new year emerges, we need a turnaround in our health sector. What can be done to improve the quantity of doctors available in our country? Let's hear your views. You can call us on 070-806-68014. You can only tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourVTVC so we can read your tweet. I think a couple of days ago, I was at the Her Network Awards where 4 doctors were nominated for health in the health segment. And they're young. You know, you see these guys are young and they are dedicated, they are committed. And the Dr. what's her name? The celebrity psychologist.
Oh, Mimuna.
Mimuna was the one giving the award.
Okay.
And she was saying that the fact that these ones have not left Nigeria, the fact that they are staying is a lot. They all deserve to be honored because every doctor is actually packing their bags and leaving. So obviously, it's a fact. We can't afford to keep many of them. So you can't stop anybody from leaving. But those who are actually trying to get into school to read, can we make the issue of science or the medical field more attractive? Because schools are even complaining that nobody wants to even read that line, go in that line of master, the major anymore, those major in that anymore. So that's issue of getting them into school, number one. Number two, the ones that we even graduated, what can we even do? What kind of incentives can we provide to keep them here? Because many of them are leaving. I know me, personally and privately, I know at least 2 doctors who their visas have been approved. They are ready just to say, okay, this is the day, buy ticket and decide.
I said it happened to me this year. Last year, my dental appointment, I had to do a refilling. The doctor was pleasant, fantastic. And my next appointment, he has gone to Canada.
Oh.
Then the person that was now doing the second appointment for me was also planning to go to, as in, like I was not saying, who will be left in this hospital, in this dental center when you guys are gone? Because for me, it was like the 2 high-ranking guys had already, one had gone, the second had finished paperwork. So before we talk about bringing in, and I think that the process of becoming a doctor in Nigeria is actually, can be a bit, it's not the best, but it's good, it's affordable. Nigeria is one of the cheapest places somebody can become a doctor.
Yeah.
It's now that, why are we not consolidating on the discounts we've given in terms of school fees to these doctors by creating an enabling environment for them to work? Every doctor is complaining, we don't like where we are working. It's that simple.
But thank you for even taking us to that angle, because people have said, I've invested in you. I've given you this education almost for nothing. And then you're packing your bags and leaving. Okay. So shouldn't we have some kind of a mechanism to ensure they use at least 5 to 10 years in Nigeria before leaving the country?
They are not, Nigeria is just not smart. I think we're not thinking of the future. Remember when we had an analyst here, the economist who came here, who told us how countries are making money from education. And this is what you do. You give them that education on loan. Even those who want to go to school cannot afford to go to school, you give it to them on loan. And then you have a payment plan, which will take them years, even while they are working. So when you are on loan and you have a payment... I didn't get that.
They don't get a job.
We need doctors.
They will get a job. So aside from providing that loan, we are going to make sure that you create a conducive environment.
That's
you
what we're asking.
Put infrastructure
into
the federal hospitals. But then the conditions of work must be okay for them to stay, and they pay back that money. It cuts across.
If they take the loan and they still run away,
they can't run away with the loan now. How wouldn't they?
You not give them certificates.
Okay, another problem we have
is
the fact that we don't have data. We don't have enough data. So there's a lot that goes into planning and preparing ourselves. I'm saying Nigerian government, we are not ready yet. Now, when she mentioned about school, I know people who want to go to medicine, who have written JAM 1 time, 2 times. They are still struggling because they want to go to medicine. I don't think what's it called?
Criteria.
The criteria should be reduced, because you remember that these people are those who are going to be handling lives. They need to be excellent at that.
Any mistake is life and death.
Science is 2 + 2 anywhere in the world is 4. It's not like arts that creativity is allowed. Creativity is not allowed in the theater. So they need to, go through the rigors, because lives are going to be handed over to them. So it's not about reducing JAM scores for anybody.
They shouldn't go and create on somebody's head.
I'm telling you, if you're qualified to get in,
because you don't find yourself 6 feet under.
If we're talking about quantity, if our conversation today is about quantity, and we're saying we don't have enough, how do we get enough? Yes, one thing, we understand the issue of keeping them, but how do we even attract people into the... people have complained. They've complained about that, about the criteria to get into med school. It's too cumbersome.
It's the same everywhere.
It has to be. I agree with Obiaju. It has to be cumbersome. If you are intelligent enough, you will go. That's why you and I are not doctors.
I tell you.
Because if everybody could be a doctor,
excuse me,
listen, if everybody could be doctors, all of us on this table will be doctors.
I'm telling you.
So,
doesn't it make them more intelligent than we are?
There is a special talent for medicine. When that is your talent, face it.
Face it.
And when the problem is, the government does not put enough
Incentives.
And anything into the medical. Because why? Because they go abroad when they're sick. So there is nothing. Look, I can never forget one doctor we had here. And you know, the reason I asked that doctor to come on this show that day.
Braithwaite?
No. The one before her. Okay. Because she had been lamenting to me the day before. But when she came on the show, she just clamped up. And I was like, why did you clamp up now? Why did you?
A lady, I remember her.
You know, because she had been complaining. She has not gone anywhere. She has stayed in Nigeria, but she regrets paying just generator alone. Me, I'm not in medicine. I know what generator is doing and NEPA to my life. They are making me a frustrated human being.
Go ahead.
So there are non-financial incentives that the government can give to privately owned hospitals and medical doctors to encourage them. Non-financial incentives are what every HR person or HR guru will tell you can help you keep your staff when you don't have money, because the government will say they don't have money, which is questionable because we know how much the government is spending on what they prioritize. So obviously, health might not be in the list of priorities for this government. However, we are Nigerians and we must demand the quality of service we want. We demand the quality of leadership we want. And in that demand is to expect that the government officials, and we say it, I'm tired of saying it.
We've been demanding for many years. I don't know what you're talking
we
about.
will say it over and over again that government officials should get treated in Nigeria, because that will break, that would be the changing factor, unless we put in the minimum. Let's even say that our representatives in the House of Assembly, all of them should get medical treatment in Nigeria. The ratio of how they will start changing what they approve in the budget would be for our own favor.
I'll punch a bit of in that argument, but let me take this call first. Hello, are you there? Thanks for calling, Olumide.
Yes, please.
Go ahead, please. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Oh, hello.
Good morning.
Hi,
Thanks for calling. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Hello.
This is Morayo Afolabi Brown speaking to you. Please go ahead.
All right, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, my view on this hot topic is we are in serious problems. We are in serious problems. If we have only 42,000 certified doctors to serve over 200 million Nigerians, we are in for it. We pray we don't have about just 25% of Nigerians sick at the same time. That's the thing. Because I remember the other time I had malaria, the last time I had malaria, I couldn't go to the general hospital, so I had to go to the neighboring hospital very close. Just one injection, I was charged about 9,000 naira. Just one injection. I was told I should take this injection in the morning, that I have to come back and take the remaining injections later in the day. And I was charged about 9,000.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
9,000 naira for one injection when he went to a private hospital for a malaria treatment.
Really?
Judges in their entitlement get funds for treatment abroad. People that work, our people that are serving us in this country, have in their budgets medical trips abroad covered. You can't, such a country is not ready, to solve the problem within this country.
Do you know that?
Excuse me, sorry, Morayo. You people have forgotten that how many years ago, when we were sitting over there, that one governor built one massive hospital, the biggest hospital in the world. And when he had an accident, where did he go?
Outside. He didn't even trust the hospital.
The hospital that he built with our money.
Okay, but the point I was going to make, come to you, is the fact that we make laws. We budget money, but sometimes it's not these government officials that are going to execute. Either they are the civil servants in the hospitals, because I've seen a lot of situations where they bring the hospitals are funded, but we, the people, are the ones manipulating the system such that these monies are not used for the people. So the laws are made. Our ministers and all that, we demand that, don't go abroad. Yes, some of them might insist they stay here. But are they the ones that are going to treat you? Are they the ones going to pay are they the ones going to pay the salaries for the doctors to ensure they treat it? So it's beyond just, I'll come to you, it's beyond just getting our leaders to stop traveling abroad. Is more of ensuring the people who are working in our hospitals are using the monies allocated to them judiciously so that Nigerians can be properly treated.
So if I pay you to buy equipment for this studio now, and I don't see that equipment, I'll sit down and say, you are the one who is supposed to have known that you're supposed to buy the equipment.
If I send the money to you,
am I not supposed to follow through? If I make a budget and I fund this particular place for this infrastructure, am I not supposed to follow through? I should have a plan to follow through to see if the contractors have done what they're supposed to do. That's my job as a leader. It's not for me to just sit on the table, make the laws, pass the money, collect my share, and keep quiet. I have to follow through. I have to put mechanisms in place to follow through. And if I find anyone wanting, I have a job as a leader to make sure that person pays the punishment. So who are we supposed to blame? Before you enter quickly.
And us syndrome.
Okay.
So our leaders are us. We are doing this thing for them. As long as your budget for the health sector is for them, that's the masses that voted you. Not that I'm putting this hospital to be in a quality that I can use. For us. It's not for all of us. It's for them. We will go abroad. Them, they should have somewhere to go. There would always be a problem until our leaders see them themselves and all of us as one, and there's no division in terms of we have equality. We can't drive. Somebody was on this show saying that it's not just 50 million naira car, and I looked at his mouth like, is it not just 50 million naira car? In Nigeria, you are exclusively
a 50 million naira car. But I don't want us to always just put the blames on these leaders. That's why it's always the comfort zone to do. It's the comfort zone to do.
I should put it on myself.
It's me.
I go to the hospital. I see the nurses. The nurses are struggling. They are both sides. Working.
But we must also take responsibility for our own part. But let's go on a
I mean,
break.
I'm not responsible. Maybe you. But me, I'm not responsible.
Let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's take a few tweets. YK, you had some tweets for us.
Oh. I didn't know we were going to...
Okay, while you're looking for the tweets.
I found them.
Okay.
Yeah, Khadija says, if doctors school in Nigeria and remain in Nigeria, they will know nothing because they lack the basic equipment needed at times. At times, they go outside to learn, not even to practice medicine and surgery. Surgery departments in Nigeria should be well equipped. Big Ara says there are many factors attributed to this. Basically, start from the facilities available in our universities. Is the federal government ready to improve this? The process to study this course is also archaic, and nobody is saying anything on this. Okay. There are more, but I'll let you talk.
Yeah, so I do not even believe that we do not have enough doctors. What I see is we do not have enough doctors in the workforce. I've met a lot of young doctors who are finding other career paths, those who don't even want to leave the country. Some of them are actors now, some are singers, some are doing different things because, first of all, when you are sent to school, the idea is for you to come out and be independent so that you can take care of yourself and take care of your family. So you are your first priority. Your family is your first priority. Now, if you get a job with that qualification and you are not meeting up, you're not able to make ends meet, you will have to find another way to survive. So it's all about survival. Now, saying that we need to put them here, if we make all the conditions right, if we pay them well, a lot of them are complaining that they even pay them better when they are doing their internship than when they finally employ them in service.
See, I want us to take this conversation to the real issues, because we can talk on the surface of all the, let them stop going abroad and all that. But somebody sent me an article, I think a few months ago, about how Indians and Chinese they build systems abroad. When they become doctors, they don't become doctors for me, myself, and my family. They are doing it, they become doctors for the entire community. So you see in an area, maybe in the States, in the US, they bring in other doctors, train them, and export them back to their countries. The Chinese have that same framework they use. So we need to start having the conversation where, whether we like it or not, some doctors that are here may not have all the requisite exposure to all the technological differences that it is abroad. So what we need to do is have the conversation where our own doctors who are doing so well abroad, we need to be able to start building systems amongst them where they are only not just attracting people back and also coming home to train those of them that are here.
Whose responsibility is to do that?
Responsibility is such that the private sector can actually initiate this. Let's not always look at the federal government. The private sector, somebody, while they are spending money doing sponsoring reality shows, find a system such that you're encouraging these professionals, not just to come home, but also to train. So it's beyond what the government, because the government can do something, but if they're not doing anything, let the private sector do much more.
private hospitals that are struggling to put it all together.
Yeah.
There are many private hospitals that are struggling
Seriously.
to
But they
run
can
the
get
place
players
back
from
to
international-
back.
from international partners.
The hustle is real because you would have to power, you'd have to pay staff regardless of what is going on. You spoke
buy
about
fuel.
how people were coming to the hospital that locked down.
Yes.
And were seeking treatment and they were not paying for that treatment. The hospital had to shut down because it couldn't sustain
Yeah.
it. So I understand that we will take initiative ourselves. We have a doctor coming from the US monthly to do free surgeries in Nigeria, and we applauded that. But you can't do much individual. We need a framework, and it's from the government.
And I hope that the commissioner,
Minister for Health.
No. There's a chairman for the Abikadabiri Erua.
Diaspora.
She can help us initiate this. Hello. Let me take this call from Yakub. Yakub, are you there?
Kind of thing they should be doing.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
And good morning to you all.
Yeah.
I think to stop editors. Morayo, I can tell you, if you don't apply what Sister Doctor said, I think we still remain the way we have. Especially whereby the House of Assembly member, the senator, even the governor and the other people, when they fly themselves out of the country, how do you want them to monitor the money they budgeted for the earth? And then another thing is this. We are talking about the huge amount of money. A little, let me just say the amount of money. A little money they even budgeted for that earth sector. If they want to do oversight function, Morayo, you know, those are the areas these senator, our rep are making their own money as well. They will see things that they are not utilizing that money. And then as much as they got their own return, nothing concerns them because they know they are not making of the hospitals. So until we be able to make sure that they do their oversight function very well, and then not expect anything from any MGA. That is the only thing you can get it right. And then themselves, they do not travel out of the country. Even including education we are talking about. They are not budgeted money for education because they are
Thank you so much, Yakub.
Until you wear the shoe, you will not know where it's pinching. If I never use general hospital, I'll never understand how terrible the situation is until our politicians have to lie down on that bed, very uncomfortable bed, to take treatment. They will not understand why the bed should be changed.
Let me pose that question. What would they do differently?
Okay,
imagine all the politicians, all our leaders are mandated to use our public hospital.
First, they make sure the infrastructure is there.
Yes,
that is the first thing they will do.
They'll follow through as
they will follow through.
They will follow through. That is number one.
Okay.
Number two, the doctors will be well paid. Number three, this
crazy now.
I'm using my money to go inside the hospital. There's money to pay you. When me, I'm a millionaire.
And you're flying out.
I'm praying for that one. But I had money to go to the hospital. The hospital can now afford to pay the doctors.
Yes.
That is true. Yeah. Because they are carrying all this money.
Let me say one thing. Wait. When the doctors realize that the next patient might just be the minister of their quality of service will be different from when they know their next patient is always one person begging or someone that does not have money. When the doctors realize that you go to some hospitals, some big hospitals, and the way they treat you like a king. They pet you. They know that you are paying through your nose, so they will gloss over you. When general hospitals know that their next patient can be the minister or the senator can be the one coming in to be your next patient, the quality of service will be different, and that is the quality of service that they should give to every Nigerian. We're all equal.
So it's not about the senators now. It's the perception, how we see ourselves.
No.
What is stopping the doctor for seeing you as you see the senator?
No.
When the senator comes in once or twice.
Because you don't have money.
No, I'm just saying.
When the senator comes in
so
once or twice.
So it's not about the values.
The senator, it's like what happened in Lagos State when we had under Fashola, where he had unexpected visits to many of these parastatals. Everybody started sitting up because they did not know who and when is going to come. That supervision is very essential and it is lacking.
Okay, let me take this call from Hassan. Hassan, are you there?
Good morning, all of you.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
This is a very big topic. It has to do with us all. You see, the governors are much more interested in the structures that people can see. But they are not interested in equipping what goes on inside. They are not interested in training the doctors and training them. But what is very clear here, you see, it is only in Nigeria where you have mixed feelings for a question. In the sense that doctors themselves, There is this greed in them. You understand? There is this mentality of going abroad to make money and come back and oppress others. There should be patriotism on the part of the doctors to serve their country. Obasanjo regime equipped most of our teaching hospitals in Nigeria. What are they looking for outside? It's a greed. And the way they wanted to be treated above other civil servants, if care is not taken, there will be an industrial crisis in our system. That's what we are seeing. There are both sides. On the part of the doctors to be patriotic, on the part of the government to be up and doing, and to see themselves as part of us.
Exactly.
Good morning.
All right, thank you so much, Hassan. Yes,
For me, everyone is afraid to die, and the people who are most afraid to die are those who have something to lose, like wealth. So if a leader knows that I am going to be using, I don't have any other choice, with all the money I have, if anything hooks me here, I'm going to be using that particular hospital, they will ensure that they equip the hospital, they will ensure that they equip the doctors, they will ensure that they pay them well, because you know that your life is going to be in their hands any moment, anytime.
The medical budget will not be the smallest part
exactly,
of the budget.
it will be increased.
Medicine
so it's about them.
Education are the lowest.
Mikey, you realize that I can give you all the money in the world and you might not use it.
Try it now.
No, I can give you all the
me.
money. I'm telling you, if you give them, yes, you think that by giving them the money, suddenly you're going to get the best services.
I like what
it's
Hassan
not always.
said.
It's not always.
Hassan said. Because we have a government that focuses on edifice, like what happened with Akwa Ibom. They built a massive hospital, but we don't have enough doctors to run it.
Exactly.
We will do roads, the roads that...
So it's beyond what the leaders can do.
We're focusing on infrastructure that people will see that this is the name. I opened this. We're not focusing on building the people that will manage it.
Which is where we need that
It's
partnership.
about orientation now.
So it's beyond.
Listen, it's not beyond. Because if you are not, if there is no orientation for the people, that government they don't have, because who is government?
Exactly.
Is it not the people?
Exactly.
So when you go there and all you are thinking about is my next contract or listen.
You just answered my question. They don't have the orientation that we need. All your ministers combined, plus all the guys in the Senate, they don't have the kind of orientation that you're talking about. What we need are the experts who have the orientation in the medical field, who are our own children.
Who should bring the experts?
They are the ones that we need to empower. Yes, that's where the government comes in.
Yes.
Empower and give them that enabling environment such that they're able to grow what we have inside, because the government is not going to fix it alone. The point I'm trying to make is that we must always own up to our own part of this deal.
Okay.
Government, they should. Yes, we have a government.
Nobody is going to come and do it without the right incentives.
Exactly.
Because if I cannot educate my child, if I'm a doctor and I cannot educate my child, and you tell me to come and do something where you don't have anything, there is no incentive, there is no infrastructure.
We have to wrap up
May
on
I
this.
quickly mention that China is a communist society. So they pool resources together and they work as one. That enables patriotism. So when you come to an environment and you see that this is needed and this is that, you need nobody to tell you, because you are not even seeing your leaders stealing money and running away. You're not seeing budgets being passed, monies are disbursed, and nothing is happening. You are seeing that everything that they say they are spending, you are seeing it visibly. So it will give you that incentive to want to put in.
The last time I went to hospital, when I got the bill like this, I said, excuse me, discharge me before I die.
I did
because another sickness will now come.
I did the same, honestly.
We have to wrap up. Let's take a few tweets. I have to wrap up on this. Let's take a few tweets so I can run away. Go ahead.
They are there for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
What you want?
Yes, please.
I feel this discussion is lopsided. This is Bolaji. Don't forget that doctors can't perform their duties in isolation. Healthcare delivery requires a team effort, and the earlier we realize that as a country, the better for us. Honorable Ademola Alalade says, Mora, you are holding brief for our leaders. Others are on point. The leaders should take responsibility for the failures we are experiencing in the health sector. It is because they have the opportunity to go abroad for treatment. If not, they will sort the mess out. Okay. VIH says, as long as this elite, even General Buhari, keep going abroad with his family for medical treatment, Nigerian hospital can never be sound.
All right, let's go on a break now. We have to come on. When we come back, we'll be talking about something more interesting and friendlier than this issue. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Oof, going into the festive season. The holidays are around the corner. And every year we do this. Most people still end up stressed by preparations for the festive season. In many cases, this leads to neglecting to focus on health, which can actually have a lasting negative effect on our bodies. Our guest will be telling us or informing us how to eat moderately during the festive season. Joining us on the show is a nutritionist, Iwalola Akinjimo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
You can call us on 070-806-6014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Okay, so festive season. We're all trying to eat as much as we can,
Enjoy.
have fun, enjoy. YK is trying to drink more champagne, you know.
We are drinking it together.
We're not drinking anything together, YK, please don't put it drunk. But how do we begin to caution ourselves while we eat? As much as
Why should we caution
why should we even caution? Especially, can't we just give ourselves this month, 1 month break? We've been eating healthy from January to November. Can't you at least give us this December to just, eat?
Absolutely. Now, the Christmas time is a time where you take a lot of sugars, first and foremost. And you know the consequences of taking sugar. Diabetes, you add a lot of weight, you're not as physically active as you should be. Well, probably you have a lot of parties to go to, but when the festive season comes, there's a lot of rice, there are a lot of cakes, there are a lot of ice creams. And the key thing is that you need to be aware of the fact that if you eat too much and you are not as active as you should be, then you're going to add weight. That's the first thing. You're going to add a lot of weight, and you're going to have the tendency to have belly fat. You're going to have a tendency to just have too much sugar in your system because you're not as physically active as you should be. And if you have too much sugar in your system, and that makes you're prone to diabetes. And several other related issues. It's not just about sugar. Okay. Even alcohol consumption during festive periods is really on the high side. And that is why you find a lot of people driving with a lot of alcohol in their blood. There are a lot of accidents. That's when husbands will realize that this woman looks like a punching bag, a lot of violence. You know, tons of things around too much consumption of food and too much consumption of alcohol.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
You see that rice? Last week, I ate rice only once. Once. Because I swore that I was not going to eat rice again. But I went to a party on Friday, and they gave me rice.
And so how much rice was this? I hope it's not as big as the things fall apart one.
It was very small rice, but I've put on the weight now. I'm trying to lose.
So is rice bad?
So
rice is not bad though. You know, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, as a matter of fact.
I substituted it with yam pottage. Is that bad?
Okay.
It's about the portion, actually. Right. It's not about the rice itself. It's about the portion. How much of this rice did you consume? Yam is also good. And you see, one good thing that has happened is the fact that it's even Nigerian rice that you have out there, which is actually better than the polished rice and all the rices.
Basmati is better than basmati?
Basmati rice. Basmati rice is also good, but let's just say that your portion needs to be controlled, not huge.
I have
What's the portion?
hustled from January to November.
You deserve to enjoy.
This December now that I said,
allow us eat again.
at least God has blessed me. Let me enjoy. People are beginning to give me all these rules and regulations. So is it this December that all the diabetes that did not catch me since will catch me?
God bless you.
Because I want to enjoy myself.
I know you want to enjoy yourself, you know, and you have a right to enjoy yourself. But what we're saying is that, so that you don't have too much work to do in 2020, why not watch what you eat? I
want to ask,
so where's the enjoyment?
What would be the ideal?
Why are we alive?
It's not the food that is the enjoyment. It's just part of the activities that we do. I mean, you go to party in a way that is, you're enjoying yourself. You go out with the family.
That is food in your mouth.
Ice cream.
The pleasure you get from that food.
Chocolate flavor.
It is like heaven. You put sweet ice cream in your mouth.
Have you been to heaven before?
I
can leave that matter. let me go to somewhere.
Can you imagine that?
I listen to you, and I'm sure many of our viewers are also listening and saying, okay, so what will we now eat?
Yes.
Because that's the real challenge, is that what our general regular predisposition towards this festive season obviously might not be healthy. What are the healthier options that we can put into our diet that would make us enter 2020 healthier than we would have if we went the other way around?
Okay, first and foremost, let's talk about alcohol. Can we take out the alcohol as much as possible?
Is it?
I said, can we take out the alcohol as much as possible? Yeah, because what we're saying is it leaves its mark.
Okay.
Whether you take your beer or you take a glass of wine, you know, the bottom line is it leaves its mark.
Okay.
And we know how much this impacts several things in our life. Okay. Alcohol is a drug, and that's just the truth. I mean, because it's ethanol. And when you take it immediately, you have this high feeling, I'm feeling good and all that. But the more you take it, the more it depresses your central nervous system. And that is why when people get drunk and all that, slurred,
their reaction is slower.
In fact, the way they move, you already know that this one is drunk. Right. So let's take out the alcohol as much as possible.
Reduce the sugars? Right?
Reduce your sugars as much as possible. Of course, you take occasional ice cream. You have a lot of fizzy drinks out there, all the sweetened drinks and carbonated drinks.
So what should we now drink if we're not drinking water?
If you can take juice, excellent. You see,
Fresh
the
juice.
truth of the matter is, yes, you can take water, but you're going to take the sweet drinks anyway. Let's just be realistic.
Yeah, so true.
We are going to take, but then we're saying instead of taking one, let's say 1 liter, can you just take 25 cl and know that, you know, this
Or
is
just a glass.
A glass, yes. But what we're saying is, to a very large extent,
Okay, I need to ask you
instead of that big pounded yam, can we just have
you know,
a smaller portion? Because what we're saying is you're going to have a lot of work to do in 2020. Why not start 2020 on a healthy note?
You're a nutritionist, so I need to really ask you this question because some people are on keto. So I want to know, is that keto part of the healthy eating or is it not healthy? Because you should know.
Yeah, you know, the truth of the matter is keto has, you know, enabled a lot of people lose weight. But the fact also remains that a little bit of carbohydrate is important for your liver to function well. It's important for your systems to function well. So if you take out carbohydrates from food, where will the glucose that you need for your physical...
Eliminate. Keto gives you at least a few percentage, 20% of carbohydrates. So you can actually have some carbohydrates. So let nobody
But at least as much as possible, they try as much as possible to restrict, you know, the carbohydrates in what you eat. And most times they look at where you're coming from. I'm not recommending keto diet. I mean, because to a very large extent, any diet that is good for you is a diet that enables you increase your physical activity. Yes, diet is about 80% of losing weight, but at the same time, you need to increase your physical activity because that's what makes your totality better in terms of the way you appear. Keto can make you lose weight, but will it make you have, will it make you shapely?
Right.
Will it make, exactly.
Okay, let me ask you,
know, so it's not
let me
going to
tell you
do that.
what justifies my eating sweets. I don't know where I got this information from. Please clarify if it's right. Now, once you have your entrees, your main course, it's always good to have the dessert because it helps your food digest better. So I always make sure that I have that dessert. Is that correct? I've had that mentality for years. So I always feel like I must have that three course.
It's just, this is quite easy to explain. Okay. When you look at the type of diet our forefathers and mothers had, did they have this entry, dessert, and all that? They had their fresh vegetables, you know, usually minimal protein, and then you have your carbohydrates, and they lived long. Yeah. And so that's what we're saying. To a very large extent, yes, if you can afford all those things, it's a big, but you really don't need a sweet to finish off a good diet. You don't need a glass of wine to start off a good meal.
But it's good with the red wine.
And that is just the truth.
But people do it.
Are you Oyinbo?
Are we? We're not. That's what I'm saying. We're not Oyinbo, and then our
Oyimbos still live long now, man. Let's not be true to ourselves. Oyimbos still live long.
Look at the environment too at the same time.
You know, they don't have generator making noise.
Okay, well, let me let you comment.
So I know that there are people who want to, you know, be healthy, but then they have this. They are not able to control food when they see food. There's this way you see food and you're so excited and you end up overeating. So do you have tips if somebody has a problem of overeating, especially this period that food, even if you don't
let
cook,
me
your
add to that question,
will bring food for you.
Let me add to that question. For example, you go somewhere and there's a buffet and this long stretch of buffet and you want a little bit of everything,
and then your plate is full.
And your plate is gone like this.
very good. Now, the truth of the matter is there's a buffet, so there's going to be salad, there's going to be fruits, there's going to be protein. And so please, that square, half of it, fill it up with veg, your salads, your fruits and all that. And then the 1/4 can be rice, a bit of spag, a bit of potatoes. I'm talking about the regular square plate, too, not something that is as big as a tray. No, that's not what we're talking about. So 50%, once you can achieve 50% of veg, I can assure you by the time you finish the veg, you're already full.
But you know, some of us this season, we have like 3 parties in one day. You know, so...
And if you're not eating their parties, be as if you're fighting them.
And I'm not fighting. It's not good to say no. When you say no, it's disrespect.
It's disrespect now.
So when we now have like 3-4 parties in one day, how do we measure the belly and measure ours?
You have to go, Ike.
No, but really, a lot of people have that situation. So there's a party every other day, and they're hanging out late, and you have excess of all these things. Where do we draw the line? What do you say is the time to eat, or what time not to eat? Please, can you just educate us more
the key
on that?
thing is that, just going by what you say, the most important meal for the day is actually breakfast. And the least important is dinner, because you're supposed to take your breakfast a bit. That will give you the energy for the day, and then very little at night, because you're not going to walk while you're sleeping anyway. So if you have 3 parties, you can just take a bit, a tiny bit. When I mean a bit, I mean it could be just a scoop of vegetable. It could even be rice. But be conscious of the fact that, you know what, at that last party, I took this, I took a scoop of rice. This one, let me just take a tiny bit of yam pottage. Yeah. And then you put some protein, and then the last one, you can decide to take.
I have 2 questions for you, but let me take this call first. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. And one key thing, I don't want us to forget the alcohol, because alcohol is a key thing that the consumption is really very high during the festive season. And for normal people like us, you know, women, you know, that were probably not pregnant, well, maybe a bit of alcohol. But for a pregnant person, a pregnant woman, alcohol is completely off the table.
Okay, let me take this call. I have this call. Good morning, are you there?
Good morning, Morayo.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
You're about to take my call first. No, it's not encouraging to spend so much time discussing our politicians. With your credit, honestly speaking, it's not so interesting.
Talk about politicians.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a thing. I don't see how come you can blame all these guys. You can see what is budgeted for the health sector. And you see all these senators telling you they want $1 billion to renovate the building. Our National Assembly is even too bogus, like a national stadium. Go and check UK Parliament, one tiny, less than 1 acre, just one tiny place, and then you see them discussing about the British national issue. And how do you expect when the Major General has spent more time in UK hospital than any other person in the country?
The president spends more time in UK hospital than in Nigeria.
We're talking about the first person. Yeah. Sorry, it was difficult for me to hear you. I'm so sorry, but thank you very much for your view. I have 2 questions for you, but I need to go on a quick break. We'll come back and I'll start with you, Waiki. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
I just wanted to ask her.
Okay, very quickly, Waiki, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you, so is yam pottage heavy? Can I be eating yam pottage instead of rice?
Yeah, you can eat yam pottage. Like I said, the issue is about portion, really. And to a very large extent, we're attached to the type of food we like. Yeah. So if you like eating yam pottage, then
is it better than rice? I like rice. I love rice.
It's the way the yam pottage is made that is key. Right. So if you have a lot of palm oil, the yam is swimming inside oil, and you have a lot of seasoning, that is already not healthy. Right. But if it's regular yam pottage, well prepared, a little bit of oil. And exactly, and you put vegetables inside. You turn it into a healthy meal.
Sorry, Morayo. Yesterday, I ate only salad and chicken. And this morning, I was extra fat.
Okay, how can you get?
I felt it.
I just bloated.
It depends on the quantity of chicken. Was it a whole chicken or 1.5?
Just the breasts.
Okay.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
That would not make you add. You can't add weight in like 24 hours, like the way you put
bloated.
We have to wrap up very soon because I want you to give us a message for our viewers. But 2 things. Between spaghetti and rice, which is better?
It depends on the way it's made. Both of them are okay. Rice is fine, spaghetti is fine. But then when you're making it, do you put veggies in it? Yes. do you season it? What do you use to cook it? For how long? Because when you parboil rice, you've already lost 50% of the nutrients. Do you understand? So it pretty much depends on the way it's prepared. Both of them are healthy, depending on how it's cooked and how
secondly, when do you know you're full? Is it when your tummy? Because when we are, sometimes you eat, and until that stomach doesn't come out, you don't feel like you've eaten.
You're full.
So what's the best way? How do you know when you should stop?
You know, I always go back to that plate that you're going to use to eat.
When you eat that plate, the tummy doesn't come.
You don't have to be full.
Yes,
you don't have to be full when you eat. As a matter of fact, I remember a quote that my father used to tell me that it's not when you're full that you have eaten, but rather when you have eaten enough to keep you going. So you're not supposed to be full at all.
Just eat enough to keep you going.
Yeah, exactly. Enough to keep you going, and you know that you have food inside your stomach. Not that.
Excuse me.
We have to run up.
You're not helping our ministry.
I have to wrap up.
When food is sweet.
Okay, I have to wrap up, but let me just leave a final word to our viewers.
The final thing I want to say is that people should watch, you know, what they eat during this Christmas period, so that you start off 2020 on a very good and excellent note, on a healthy note. And it's important, no alcohol as much as possible. I know that is something people don't want to hear, but I'm going to say it anyway because it leaves its mark, you know, down the line.
Thank you so much. That's all we can take. No, we have to run. We have to run. You can watch repeats at GoTV channel, GoTV on channel 27 actually, and start times 121. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.